So now that the van floor has been waterproofed, it is ready for the installation of the 2 water tanks. Before I do that, I just want to finish the stainless steel frames and trestles and make them look nice and pretty. I'm just going to do that by grinding them up and polishing them up the best I can. It would be nice to use a TIG welder to have nice, beautiful welds, but unfortunately I don't possess one, so I'm stuck with a stick. It'll look as good as we can. That's our stainless steel tank frames and stillages, fabricated and cleaned, ready for installation. I'm going to put some protector coat underneath this stainless bar which makes up the tank frame, which also serves as a seal or a mini bulkhead to separate the area where the Softwash skid goes and forward of that to the rest of the cargo area. So if there's any spillages, that bulkhead there will stop anything running forward. So I'm going to seal that up. I'm just going to use some protector coat. I'm not going to stir the protector coat. I'm going to get just the rubberized compound at the top, or the bitumen type compound at the top. It's not going to contain many of the rubberized balls which are in suspension in the paint. If you have a look at this surface here, you can see there's rubberized balls which help give grip to the surface. But for sealing up these bars, we don't want those. So we're just going to take some off the top and use that. The frames and tanks should fit really well because they've been pre-fitted already. So all I'm doing is sealing up the bars underneath, fitting the tanks, bolting through, and fitting a 2-inch washer to the underside before painting the underside with some underseal. Now, seeing as we're back working, I thought it best get a little bit more organised. So I started doing some of the fun little jobs, which is going to help keep the van nice and tidy. and one of these is brush holders, and that's what I'm doing now. I can see anything, which lets you store and manage your brush as well, because I have a nice selection of brushes. So I've gone over to the quick lock system. I was looking for something like this on the Gardener website and there was nothing there, so I actually made these up myself. I'm just going to screw those into the panel of the van, and then we can pop our brushes on, something like that on the rear door. Then our brushes can be nice and neatly organized on the back door. I am going to paint this panel. I don't know what colors yet or what paint system. It's probably going to be a really good paint system because these doors are always open. So it's going to be a nice gloss, marine gloss paint system going onto that. They want to look really good, so I'll probably do the company colors as well. So these ones here at a slight angle, so I thought they'd be higher up, they'd just be easier to get at. They are actually a better job than the ones which come straight out. So these brackets, they come down at, I don't know, maybe 30 degrees, something like that. That should make it easier for pulling it on and off than the ones coming straight out. I've just used self-tapping screws. When I take this timber off to paint it at some point, I'll probably replace these for bolts and washers, just for longevity is all. They might be alright with screws, but just some little bolts would be ideal, I think. These fittings here, you have to drill them out to take the 6mm or a 5mm bolt. I think it's a 4mm hole in them. So you just have to drill that out and drill that out. There we have it. Nice quick little job before work. Save these brushes flying around the van. So a nice, quick, easy and cheap upgrade to a new van is to upgrade the lighting system. We have these units here. They're okay, but they're not very bright. I mean, a lot of these vans are kind of geared up towards couriers, you know, cheap and cheerful. With some of the fittings, we can upgrade them. What I'm going to do, I'm going to swap out this little unit here for a new LED version, which is about 7 times brighter than the standard lights which are fitted in the back. It's going to make working in the back in the dusk and night time a lot easier, obviously because it's brighter and it's just a bit better all round. And for the sake of €30 for 2 sets, because there's one here and there's one over there which has already been fitted, it's going to make the next 5 years inside here a lot better. They just clip out like so. Click to the back, we'll turn that off. That's it, that's the old unit. It's got a single halogen bulb, I'd say. And then this is the new unit. They're about €30 because they're LED and they do have one of these things on the back, so they are more money, but they're far better light. And so that's it. You see we've got 2 little LEDs there. It just plugs in. So whoa, that's bright. Just clips in. There we go. You can see how much brighter that is. Nice, quick, easy job. Let's keep going. So I've now had to turn my attention to the ladder rack, which is going on the inside of this van. I didn't fancy putting a roof rack on the top of this van because then you need a ladder. also creates noise and affects fuel economy. There's a couple of low bridges near me which I barely have enough room to get in as it is, so I'm putting my ladders all on the inside, and it will serve as a pole rack as well for all the water fed poles. To do that, I'm building off the ribs or the sides of the van, and I'm not sure exactly how it's all going to work out yet, but what I do know is that I need a straight bar going from across from here to the other side, and that is going to carry the scaffolding when we're carrying scaffolding. The ladder rack I was hoping to bring to around a third of the way in from the side, so it leaves us the space down the centre. What I also wanted was a means of carrying the scaffolding when we are carrying scaffolding, which we don't do every day. We do carry a ladder every day. So in its everyday setup, I think the van's going to have some sort of bar coming across here and then up to the roof, and then tied in to the Softwash skid, I think, somehow, just on 2 or 3 bolts. And then if we want to bring the scaffolding 2 or 3 bolts later, we can just have a bar going straight from one side to the other, and that is going to allow us to carry the scaffolding. I hope that makes sense. It certainly will when we're all done with this. But the way I have to work this, I actually have to build the brackets and the bar for the scaffolding first to see how everything's going to work out, and then build off that and modify that for the ladder rack. The reason being is because I can use that bar to set my heights, because the bar is running from side to side at the same height, whereas the ladder rack is going to go to the same height, of course, but trying to find that height without having something to go off of the other side is very difficult. So I'm kind of making the straight bar first, going from one side to the other, and then the one which comes down a third of the way into the van afterwards. It's just easier to get everything level because we go into 2 fixed points across the side. I hope that makes sense. But if I just do it and put up this bar, I hope it will do. So what we're going to do, I'm building off the side, so I'm going to have a bracket coming off here, and then a bracket on the far side, which is going to go here. There's already some drilled and tapped mounting holes here. So I made these brackets, and that's basically going to go like that. It's going to pick up a top bolt, and then it's going to pick up this threaded bolt here, which is an anchor point, and then this bar is going to run amidships across the van that way. So I'm going to do that now, and that should start making sense then when you see it all in. I'm using a stepper drill bit for opening up the holes on the side. These are prefabricated holes, but I'm just opening them up very, very slightly just to fit an 8mm bolt, is one of the bolts I'm using. Very careful when you're drilling holes in the sides of vans. This is going into a void behind here. If you're using a normal drill bit and you're trying to open up a hole like that and it bit on you and you're putting pressure on it and you push through, you could quite easily dent the outside of the van by the force of the pressure on the drill, and then it going quickly on you. You could easily do that, so you've got to be really, really careful. The stepper drill lets you go really nice and slowly and easily. Now, perfect. We can either double nut those or put some paint on, something like that, stop them vibrating loose, or stick a nylock over them actually. I've got a nylock here. I'm using a nylock here now just to double nut it, and yeah, these have a piece of nylon in there which goes under the threads and stops them vibrating loose over time. Now I've got the 2 brackets on, I'm going to put the bar from one side the other. Got a large repair washer on the back side to stop it bending in the lighter wall of the box section which we're using for this. That is our first ladder support, or it's actually the scaffolding support as I was saying. So what I'm going to have further towards the rear of the van on top of the Softwash skid is another bar at the same height as this, and that's going to go up over the hose reels, and the scaffold boards and all the scaffolding can slide in then and fill up in this void here. This bar here is only on 2 bolts, so I can remove it if I want to really quite quickly and have it in my normal running position where I just want the ladders, in which case I'm going to have a bar like this, and then it's going to come up to the roof here, okay, which is then going to leave our space down the middle of the van for accessing the back of the van, to the side here, and to the side to the other side as well, for whatever we decide to put on the side of the van on the inside. Obviously with this being here, it's blocking away. You could get through, but you'd be hitting your head on it, and every time you hit your head you say to yourself, why on earth didn't I just set this up the other way? And so that's what I'm doing now. So at least I have this made, and I can use it then to get my measurement to make a bar which is going to come from here, and it's going to join to the roof to this rib here, which is directly below it, and so this won't be here, and our ladders can fit in this space here between the van wall and that. So if it still doesn't make sense, it will do later on in this video, I hope. It's nice and sturdy, I'm happy with it. So let's start taking some measurements and chop up a bit more steel, and that's it. My biggest problem here is going to be finding a way of connecting into this rib. I want to drill as few holes as possible. If I can use this hole here, some sort of a plate in there to come down, or maybe one of these 2 holes, just be better. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more of these videos, then please like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon, you'll be notified whenever we release a new video. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.